All right. All right. So, welcome everybody, and for those of you joining us, you're watching us on the refeed. Obviously, went to LouisvilleAnswers.com. Got a bunch of stuff here. Workshop for sellers is August 20th. Just so you know, folks. Okay. All right. Everybody ready? Ready, sir?
Let me turn down the volume on my phone here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, close that. That'd be great.
Calls.
Okay. Here we go. In a 3, 2, 1. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you for the next 30 minutes or so. Packed show. Let's get right to it, and let's introduce the folks participating in today's show. From the Crosby Law Offices, the guy who's in charge, Chuck Crosby, joins us at 499-6360. Good to have you here, sir.
Good to see you.
Good. And also from his office, but we're coming from offices because of COVID-19. We continue to do this. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Services. They hire vets. They are the #1 home team inspection service in the country. That moniker still stays with you, correct, Brad?
Yes, sir. I think we have a sizable lead.
Good for you. And
yeah, thank you.
No, our pleasure. And you can reach Brad and his team anytime at 357-0813. And, of course, I'm Bob Sokoler, 376-5483, and we are continuing to search for homes to put on the market and sell, and using different ways out of the box to get the most money and sell fast and for more money. Speaking of selling fast and for more money, Seller Workshop coming up August 20th from 7 to 8 p.m. That's August. That would be difficult if it was, right? That would be tomorrow. So it's probably coming up the following week. So I'll have to edit that out. And so we'll just go right to the next one, which is going to be, I wonder why that popped up there. I'll have to change that in post. But for those of you watching the video. So
27th, Bob.
Is it the 27th? That's
yep, 27th at 7 p.m.
We've got a Seller Workshop coming to you August 27th at 7 p.m. We'll be talking about a variety of things, including the how to price the home, best marketing plan, staging tips, creating competition. It's a wide range of items that we'll be talking about, and I'm hoping that these guys will be on the show as well, both Brad and Chuck. If you'd like to be part of it, it's free of charge, no obligation, Zoom, which is cool. 7 p.m. August 27th, you can send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and put Seller Workshop in the subject line. I'll send you a link to register and get on board. All right, and if you want to see a replay, by the way, of today's show, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. All right, guys. So we got some really good news, I think, for everybody, that the housing market coming back. It's no surprise. We've been hearing about it. But there's more seller confidence that's been improving gradually after reaching its bottom in mid-April. And now it appears to have reached an important recovery milestone after 5 long months. Sellers are back in the housing market. A lot of people putting their homes on the market. I know this past week alone, we put a whole series of homes on the market. I don't have an official count. How are things going on from Chuck? Let's come to you second. Let's go to Brad first. How are you in the way of getting people on board to have home inspections? Is that continuing? Because that's really the litmus test, starting with you, Brad.
Yeah, so it's been very busy. We have exceeded weekly records week in and week out for the last 5 weeks. So yeah, its volume is still great. We had a record Monday for the number of inspections that came in. Mondays are always busy for us, but for a back to school kind of Monday in August, it should have been much lower. So it's the tail of the real estate market is definitely stretching on out for the year. So we'd love to see kind of that cut and come again type flowers that are blooming again.
Yeah, it's COVID-19 that's pushed everything down the path, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck, how about with you? I understand. I know refis are still strong. How is your home purchase closing?
I'm seeing more purchases than sales at this point. I'm sorry, more purchases than refis
at
this point. Yeah, they're just keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think we're not going to see a let up, but I think this is good news for both sellers and buyers, because I think as this goes with what's gone on in the past, at the beginning of the year with COVID, I think it extends and thereby will help many buyers who are still looking for homes and help sellers who are been on the fence basically of putting a home on the market. The total housing inventory at the end of this past June total 1.57 million units. That's up 1.3% from May, but still down, get a load of this, 18.2% from a year ago at the same time. So we're definitely
Is that
seeing impact.
national or local?
Yeah, those are national. Those are
Okay.
national numbers. Yeah. Locally, we're seeing things, Chuck, and that's a great point. Locally, if you go online at any given time in the past week, the number of homes on the market, and I'll do a check as we're talking here, but the number of homes on the market, we're hovering somewhere in the 1850 to 1900 homes in the Greater Louisville. That's the Greater Louisville Association of Realtors. Normally, this time of the year, we're seeing 3,000, 4,000. And just to give you a little reference, back during 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12, we saw as many as 6,000, 6,500 homes in the Greater Louisville Association of Realtors. And we're talking, again, this is from memory, not reading anything. We're talking about all counties that are in it, which include Henry and Oldham and Bullitt, Spencer and the surrounding areas. That doesn't include anything that's in across the river, but was pretty much identical in the percentage. So as of this past week, we were hovering in the low 1800s, which is not quite frankly, it's not because we don't have homes on the market. It's because the homes that are coming on the market in key price points are selling faster and for more money. And I think this is something that's important that we talk about for our listeners. One of the big things that we discuss on a regular basis, and I know Brad and Chuck, we haven't talked about this in a while, is the absorption rate. Either of you care to jump in and define what the absorption rate is?
No, sir.
If no more houses go on the market, the length of time it will take to empty the market is the absorption rate.
Oh, I love you, Chuck. You are
Thank you.
on it. Boy, Chuck,
Thank you.
I'm impressed. He's been
Chuck for
listening.
the win.
Chuck scores. So I'll go one more deep for either of you, throwing the ball up in the air, see who grabs it. So what's the indication of a buyer's market? How many months supply? Anybody want to take a guess?
What is
Yeah.
it? 5 or 4, somewhere there?
It's 6 months or more buyer's market. What's the indication of a neutral market? Still very not much conversation.
No. We're waiting for that.
Contemplating. It's 5 to 6 months neutral, and then 5 months or less is a seller's market. So any potential listeners know the lower the number, and listeners and also sellers. If you're listening, you're not a potential listener. Any potential sellers should know that the lower the number, the more of a seller's market you're in. So we do this every week on a Sunday. It's created for us. And if you have a home, and again, it varies by condition of the home, and it also varies by the location of the home, and it also varies by the marketing brokerage that you use. So with factoring in, if you're in the $100,000 to $150,000 price range, there is a 0.9 supply month supply. 0.9.
Wow.
Whoa. Now that gradually goes up, but for example, even in a 3 to 350 price range, there's a 1.8 month supply. 350 to 400, a 2.1 month supply. If you're up above 700,000 in price point, there is a 9.2 month supply. That kind of gives you an idea. Incidentally, if you want a copy of what we put out, send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and just put market report in the subject line, and I'll send you out a copy of what we've got, and I'll just show you broken down graphically, price point and location for the most part. So anyway, so that's kind of interesting. Coming up a little later on in today's show, I should tell you some tips on how you can compete with the cash of a home buyer when it comes to buying a home. And I think this is an interesting concept because not everybody. Chuck, what's your percentage of people who come to closing and are paying cash rather than financing?
There's a fair amount. But percentages, I don't know that I could give you a percentage.
Do you see it on the upswing, downswing? Do you see more cash?
Oh, it's going up. It
is.
Seems to be going up. Yeah. And I would credit that mostly the ones I see are folks who are downsizing.
Mhm.
You know, they've sold the home they've lived in for the last 10 years and, you know, all the kids are out of the house. So they're then taking that cash and buying someplace smaller.
I was reading a report. I don't know if you guys know this and our listeners know this, that we, in my age, I'm considered a baby boomer. Maybe Chuck, you might or not. And Brad.
I tagged the last year.
Me too.
Okay. Did you know that there's a breakdown of an older baby boomer and a younger baby boomer? So if you're between 54 and 64, you're considered a younger baby boomer. And then 65 to 75-ish, you're an older baby boomer. That was a report that was released by the National Association of Realtors when they did a breakdown of buying habits that came out this past week. So I thought that was of interest since now I guess I'm right on the cusp. So I'm 65. I just turned 65 June 21st. And I guess I'm right there. Maybe I don't want to consider myself an older baby boomer. I mean, that's a whole new category for me. But anyway, just letting you know. So there's a whole new way of looking at things. I wonder if there's going to be a younger millennial, older millennial, who knows? Anyway, that's something that was just released. Something else that we're seeing, and this was probably you're going to say, I knew this was going to happen. A new survey out, urban dwellers across the U.S. are continuing to show an increased appetite for suburban homes. It's a trend brought about by the desire for more space and flexibility to work from home amid the coronavirus pandemic. So what we're saying is people who are living in our city dwellers are saying, I don't like, and again, this is not maybe necessarily Louisville, but you could point out it could be Louisville. They want to live out in the county, country, or where they've got more land to spread out. Looking back, and Brad, do you track where you go for inspection?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of tracking. We have not done as many homes, condos downtown as we typically have this year.
Mhm.
Far fewer. We are doing a lot more homes that are over 250,000 sales price than we historically have. So that would indicate it's moved us a little bit, further out of the central business portion of Louisville for sure. When you look at the dots on the map, where we've gotten the circles moved just a little bit away from the very center of town.
And just so you know, during the second quarter of this year, 51% of home searches, just searching by urban residents of the 100 largest metro areas, were found looking for suburban properties near their town. So there is a difference here. There is a change and a shift that COVID's created. I'm not sure if it's going to continue once this gets past us, if it does. Chuck, when it comes to closings, are you seeing people from your office? You're centrally located just near 64 in Hurstbourne. Are you seeing realtors using you from a specific region, or is it coming from all over the metro area?
Typically, well, it's always been, you know how that goes. East End properties, Okolona East, usually try to close out in this neck of the woods. There's several offices that seem to serve the South End, and we still see a smattering from that neck of the woods, but mostly it's the city proper moving kind of southeast.
I would tell you, it's funny. I had a call from a client of mine this week who said to me, listen, we listened to Chuck and you and Brad and everybody else on the radio show. Does Chuck do, and I don't remember what the topic was or what the subject was, this type of law? And all of a sudden in my head, I heard you say the words, if you don't do it,
Do it.
you
I
know
know who does.
somebody does. Right. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
you'll probably getting calls from people who are, and he's a good source because he's got a lot of good friends in the community who have connections to whatever is needed to
Yeah.
be done.
I'll tell you, I was always kind of slim on employment law attorneys.
Yeah.
I don't do anything with that. But I ran into a couple this week with really great references.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
So that helps in,
Yeah.
are we seeing an upturn? Maybe we are because of COVID, that is a need for attorneys doing employment law?
No, I don't
No?
think so.
Okay. I wondered. All right.
No.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, tips on how to compete with cash home buyers when you're buying a home. Also, we'll start something with regards to double checking some of the areas in your home to make sure they're safe, especially we're staying home a lot more, and with the winter and fall coming just around the corner, we need to double check, and we'll see how our group here, Chuck and Brad, stack up, and myself, on some of these safety checks. Again, coming from their individual studios or homes or offices. Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. And you can reach me. We're desperately looking for homes, I keep saying that, to put on the market and sell, because we do sell them quite a bit, quite often, quite quickly. 376-5483 is my direct number. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. Thank you, Barbara Corcoran, News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, and Barbara's talking about our guaranteed sale program, which we not only do that, but we come out, we can tell you what it will sell for. You can cancel at any time with the guaranteed sale program. There's no extra fees. Or you can just do what we do with most of our clients, and that is we just list and sell for top dollar and as quickly as possible. Back with us, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 357-0813. Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. You can reach me anytime, Bob Sokoler, at 376-5483. A reminder, Seller Workshop coming up August 27th from 7 to 8 p.m. We're talking pricing, best marketing plan, staging tips, creating competition. We'll answer your questions live on a free Zoom meeting. No obligation. Just send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and put Seller Workshop in the subject line. Also, if you want to see what people are writing about us, go to LouisvilleZillow.com, or what people are saying about us, LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. So, all right. So if you're a buyer, one of the things that you're up against, besides heavy competition, and we've talked about this, guys, happens to be people who come in with cash and you're up against with a mortgage. Could be very difficult, but there are some key items that you can think about, is getting a mortgage pre-approved before you start looking. At least you have a piece of paper in your hand that tells you what you can afford, and having a pre-approval letter will help you compete with cash buyers. Going one step further, if the loan officer does the due diligence, and Chuck, you probably can speak to this, if loan officer does due diligence, checks your credit, checks your employment, things like that, they can cross that off one of the requirements that's needed for that pre-approval letter. I don't know if you see these. Yeah. Also,
Yeah, the
hire
more you get up front, the quicker it goes.
That's right. So you want to make sure all the boxes are checked, I's dotted, T's crossed. If you are looking for a house, you should pair up with a real estate agent who's full-time, and that way develop a relationship, even go out to a cup of coffee, find out how that individual works. It's a good time to create a bond of someone who'll go to battle for you and during a bidding war and is there for you whenever you need him. We've got 15 agents who are with us. You can reach me and I'll put you in contact with them at 376-5483. Again, this one I'm going to throw at Chuck, because there is some controversy about this particular thing. And that is writing a letter to the seller. So you find the perfect house of your dreams, your family, and you want to move and buy that house. You write a letter and you write it to the owner of the home. Typically, hopefully, handwriting is legible, if not type it, but tells you from your heart why you like that home and how you'll keep it up and cherish it as that seller has. The controversy on this, Chuck, comes down to is there discrimination by the name that you put on the end of the letter? If you include a picture or video, which has been done, that in itself there could be claims of discrimination. So we've got to be very careful about what's being said. You hear any of this coming down the line?
I have not actually seen it. I've heard something about letters going
Mhm.
and, realtors arguing back and forth whether it's effective or not. But what kind of discrimination are you talking about? If I send you a video and you see that you don't like my
Exactly.
race or whatever,
Exactly.
you would
That's
discriminate against
yeah.
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a topic that's being discussed nationwide, and in
Yeah.
some locations, it's no longer being allowed
Yeah,
to be done. Yeah.
I can see where it would give the opportunity. I
Yeah.
don't know that it would. I mean, you're going to see names anyhow at some point. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's something to think about.
we're watching it, but just so you know that is something that's being done. At least writing
Yeah.
a letter is allowed at this point. And
Where
then,
do you fall on the letter writing as to whether it's efficacious or not?
you know, I will accept those on behalf of my sellers and pass them on, unless my seller tells me I don't want to see a letter. But
Hmm.
at this point, we have nothing that says you cannot use a letter or write a letter. And I think
Have you seen them work?
they have, absolutely, without question, it works.
Okay.
I think when you're running, especially if both offers are in the very close price range,
Hmm.
and maybe one's cash and one's a mortgage, maybe the buyer or the seller goes for the cash. But at the same time, I've seen the opposite go as well. And then if they're the same basic guidelines, the same price, same conditions, terms, a letter will win
Hmm.
on more than it won't. So it just tells the seller, hey, I really love your home, things like that. And it speaks to their heart. Then one more thing is have your agent find out what the seller's timeline is and agree to it. So if the seller says, listen, I can sell a home, but I can't move out for 60 days. So write your offer that reflects a 60-day agreement. Make sure your mortgage is locked in for 60 days, things like that. Those are
I'm seeing more of that actually.
uh,
Post-closing possession agreements. Didn't seem to be on a complete downturn for the last 5-6 years. But I've been seeing a lot more of them. People are just so hot to get the house, realizing that the seller's not going to be able to get out in that time frame.
mhm.
It makes an interesting part of the offer, I think.
We've been talking about reverse contingencies over the past couple of weeks in that
Mhm.
you accept the offer. Let's say it's a $200,000 house. You accept the price, but you counter back and say that the contract deadlines, the dates don't actually begin for 15 days. And there's a right of refusal so that the seller is able to find a house. And if they can't find a house, you can add that the contract is null and void.
Hmm.
The longer the days in that reverse contingency, which is what I'm calling, the less inviting it will be to the buyer of your house. But it's another option, another level of waiting to delay the actual
Yeah.
moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So those are some of the things. Let's move forward ourselves in what we've got left time wise. How safe is your home? And Brad, we're going to rely on you, but let's do a little litmus test here. How safe is your medicine chest? Have you guys? I've got two. I take it each of us have a medicine chest. I know you have a lot of medicine,
Sure.
right? Yeah. It might be convenient to keep your medications in the cabinet, but if you have children in the home, you're safer keeping drugs, both prescription and over the counter, in a locked cabinet or drawer. I know
That's a good idea.
it is a good idea. Many of us kids are grown. Yep.
Yeah, mine are too. Grandkids. But I got a question about that, Bob.
Yeah.
When you're advising somebody who's listing a home for
Mhm.
sale,
Mhm.
do you advise them to lock up all of their prescriptions and
Without
things?
question. Yep.
Okay.
And I think, truthfully, agents are licensed, and I personally don't think you're going to see a problem there. But why
No.
invite a problem, right?
Right. Well, and just because you don't, the agent may be in there with other folks that you
Right.
don't know that
Right.
don't have the same kind of backgrounds run on them. So
Exactly.
I was
And
curious because
if they're
during home inspections, I'm often surprised by how many things we see that are just laying out on counters,
Yeah.
and it's just like it doesn't seem like that would be the wisest thing to do.
That's a very good point, Brad. Never leave valuables in plain sight. And I would highly suggest not only valuables, drugs, prescriptions, things like that, but also even ammunition and guns. Put them locked up in a
Yeah.
safe place.
Absolutely.
Yep. Moving on, stove and oven. The kitchen's another room laden with dual dangers in case of fires, burns, aside from a simmering pot roast or something in a slow cooker. What happened, Chuck? You were looking at your hands on the video.
Yeah, it's going, hey, burns everywhere.
Oh, do you really? Because if you don't know, Chuck is a very good cook. But so you'd be apt to. But this is a big problem. I mean, correct? I would tell you. Chuck?
Yes.
Chuck, you've burned yourself. Have you had any
Pretty
fire?
much. It's not a Sunday unless unless you burn yourself, basically.
Oh, geez.
But fires, I flambe things, so that's a fire, but it's controlled.
So of the folks who are the three of us, Brad, Chuck, and myself, do all of us have fire extinguishers in our kitchen?
Yes.
Yes.
And I do
absolutely.
too. So that's true. Do you know exactly where they are, and have you checked to see if they're charged?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, so I expect
I
that
have
from you, Brad.
I have an expiration date on it, so I know when to throw it
Yeah,
out.
I guarantee you keep those. Yeah.
Well, I want to point one other thing out. A real danger for those folks that do not have the anti-tip device on their stove, because that's been, I don't know how many years they've been installing those, maybe 5 or 6 years. It's basically just a little foot that the stove will slide into.
Mm-hmm.
And so if a child opens the door and climbs on the door, it will not topple the stove onto them. So home inspectors are always going to look for those. So we're trying to tip those stoves. So yeah, we want to see those anti-tip devices. They're only a few dollars at any of your home improvement stores. They're easy to screw into the floor. And like I said, the stove just slides back in and it just holds that back foot in place so the stove doesn't tip up.
And you don't look for fire extinguishers, I take it?
No.
I wonder if you
outside
should.
the scope. Well, it's outside the scope. Yeah. So no, those are great safety items, but not anything that we inspect for. But the anti-tip we do.
And quickly, just so you know, you mentioned expiration date. A friend of mine, Michelle, was over at my house going through my refrigerator and threw out a third of everything in there. And did you know that almond milk expires once you open it in 7 days?
Yep.
I thought it was 2 or 3 months.
Okay. So the dates are best by. They aren't. It's rotten if it's after. But once you've opened it, you've started a clock. Yeah. You could probably keep it closed, unopened for an extensive period of time. But but once you open it,
well, I would say I have egg on my face from that conversation with Michelle, but she threw those eggs out as well. So.
Yeah. And the eggs you've got there, the use by date on those, they're already 30 to 60 days old.
Oh, that's not good. So this is such an interesting topic in terms of safety, and it's important. I think what we'll do, let's table what we have, and we'll resume this. There goes my phone. You would think that it would already have turned my phone off. I guess I didn't. I thought I did. Anyway, we'll resume this next week with safety tips. I think that's really an important topic, especially as we're spending more time in our homes as we go into the fall and winter. We are out of time. My thanks to Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Does a great job closing. He's also, as you mentioned, a good cook and tells some great yarns while you're sitting at the table signing documents. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 357-0813. Thank you both for being here.
Enjoy the week.
Son Greg, by the way, is out shooting photography again for listings, so that just tells you how busy we are. And then a reminder, Seller Workshop, August 27th, 7 to 8 p.m., free of charge, no obligation. We'll talk about pricing, best marketing plan, staging tips, creating competition, and many more things. Send me an email, bob@WeSellLouisville.com, and put Seller Workshop in the subject line. We're out of time. We'll see you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. All right, Chuck, you're good to go to your closing, buddy.
All righty.
I know.
We'll see you all
You're
later.
clear to close.
Thanks.
Clear to close.
You've got our clear to close. That's right. Okay, buddy.
I'll tell them that.
You got it. You got it. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Brett.
So
See you
long.
next
Your
week.
favorite words. All right.
Be good.
See you guys.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.